my top 20 tips on selling art and design online, coming up right in this video. I have experience with digital files in particular, which are vector illustrations, raster illustrations, vector and raster repeat pattern designs, like the designs for fabric or wallpaper, as well as templates and different kinds of greeting cards, menus, and things like that. I'm excited to share my top tips with you, so stay tuned. When you get to the end of this video, you will receive a free gift from me to you, so I'm excited to see what you think of it, and let's hang on until the end of the video. My name is Oksancia and I have been a professional textile designer and a children's book illustrator for 15 years now, selling online my art and designs and receiving all kinds of different experience from this process. And my experience started 15 years ago with vector illustrations, and I am selling from multiple different websites in different kinds of digital products from that point on until now. This is not a final list of all tips possible for this topic. This is just the tips that I am asked the most over the last few years from my audience, so I hope you find it useful. Tip number 1. Your art and designs to be selling online, as a rule, needs to be useful to somebody. Useful, it doesn't really only imply that they can take it and print it on something, on their product, like a backpack, let's say, like in case of vector repeat patterns, but they can also be inspiring. They can be visually beautiful, that your customers can hang the art on their wall, print it, or buy a print from you. So it has to appeal to somebody enough to buy it. This is very, very important to remember. Tip number 2. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. I think many artists or beginner artists or designers, they feel like this is something where they can make 10 pieces of art or designs, put it out there on the computer, in the internet, and all of a sudden they are rich very quickly. This is not how it works, at least not as a rule, not in my experience. However, hard work and consistency over time will really give you great results. Point number 3, you have to be over 18 years old to sell on most of the websites, at least the ones that I tried myself. Or I guess you can have a legal guardian, like your parent represent you, but you need to go more into detail. On most websites, you have to be over 18. Point number 4, you have to be willing to be creating consistently over many years. Again, as I repeated in the beginning, you have to be able to dedicate yourself to create your art, create your designs, and many different versions of what you're creating on a consistent basis, usually throughout the years. This will give you lots of joy as a creative person, but also will start building your portfolio or multiple portfolios to start selling online. Tip number 5, you need to have a way to receive payments from various different websites or from your design clients that you will work one-on-one with. This usually entails having a PayPal account and being able to receive payments on that account. I know in some countries there are PayPal accounts, but people cannot receive payments on it as of yet, but you need to research that for your particular country. In the United States, for example, or in the Netherlands, where I received payments, in those countries, you were able to receive payments. There are also Stripe, there's also Payoneer, but if you cannot get these in your country, don't worry, there are still different ways. Some of the websites, you need to research that ahead in their frequently asked questions sections where you sell your art, will be able to send you or mail you a check, physical check, every few months or every month, depending how much you make. But this is a very important point to research. Tip number 6, organize your files right away from the start. Or if you already have a library and it's not organized, sit down and organize the files. I in particular do not like to organize my files, and I still have some places on my computer that are not very organized. However, the places that I did organize from the start and created the folder system and the structure that I could remember really paid off in the long run. Tip number 7, create faster using automation. Speed up your processes much faster when you are using automations. For example, I use Adobe Illustrator a lot, and I know Photoshop does it too. You can create scripts or download or purchase scripts. You can create templates. You can create actions or purchase them online for your process to become much faster. And in a way, you can think of it, I go through these 10 steps to perform this action. Let's say you finished your work on a design, you want to save it, you click that action button and it will just take split second instead of 3 minutes, 5 minutes. And it really adds up over the years in your processes if you set up these automations. And also think about project management, like how are you managing these projects that you are working on, how are you managing these websites, and what you need to create for which website. You need to think that through and set up your automations. Tip number 8, know which license you are selling to your customers. And I am not a lawyer, so I will not go too deep into this. However, I do have a video a little bit explaining things and my experience with the licenses. But basically, you can sell all your rights to the client, like exclusive rights, so only one person will get that, be able to use that artwork, or you can sell the rights to, let's say, just the rights to do something in particular, only for these backpacks and only for 1 year or 5 year time. So there are a lot of differences in that. I recommend that you research that further or talk with a lawyer, of course, but this is the topic that you need to look into. Are you enjoying the tips so far? I hope you do. Please give me a like right now so that I can share my videos all across YouTube. It really helps with spreading the word out and I would really appreciate it. Tip number 9, learn to optimize your files with the correct metadata, which means titles, descriptions, keywords, the hashtags. Whatever you're using on each particular website, you need to be able to optimize it and know what to put in those fields. And some artists are just skim by, they think that it's not necessary or even important, but without those details, those text pieces, you will not be able to get your files found by search engines such as Google or those search engines that work in each of those websites that you are selling on. Now let's talk on which websites I have experience of selling on and that I recommend that you check out. Tip number 10, microstock websites. These websites have been the most useful for me and have been selling the most over the many years. So I do recommend to try them out for your own art. And if you are creating vector repeat patterns or illustrations or templates, like in my case, you are definitely can sell them there, or you can sell raster photos, or you can sell photos of your artwork in the raster format. So there are a few different options that you can sell there on microstock websites. So I recommend that you check them out and you license those files, whatever they're vector or raster, to your clients. The examples of these websites would be Shutterstock and Adobe Stock, and there are many others. Tip number 11, another type of websites are print-on-demand websites, which are websites where you can upload your artwork to in raster format and it will be printed on a mug, a t-shirt, a cup, a sticker, whatever you want to, or it can be also bedding, things like that. And then customers purchase how many copies they need from that website. So this is very useful type as well, and there are many different websites, namely I tried Redbubble and Zazzle with good results. Tip number 12 is scrapbooking papers with your patterns or different kinds of templates and things that people can customize and print on Etsy. I haven't tried this particular one yet, however I've heard people having good results with these as well. Tip number 13, templates. You can sell them on Etsy, or another way to sell them is Creative Market. It's another interesting website to try, and there are many different types of websites that I personally haven't tried yet that you might find useful as well. Tip number 14, you can, if you want to, sell any type of file or even product printed on your own website. I recommend that you look into Gumroad. Is a tool to create a shop on your website, or also Shopify is good for that. Tip number 15, you need to pay taxes from income that you make selling your art online. Again, I'm not an accountant and I'm not a lawyer. However, I recommend that you look into laws in your own country, or consult somebody who's an accountant and a lawyer, so that you are sure that you pay proper taxes right where you live. Tip number 16, design a brand for your creative business. I know you might just be starting out, but it is important to have even a simple logo with your name on it. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, and you can change it later. And I recommend that you have a picture of yourself, maybe with your art, maybe drawing, or just a nice smiling picture of yourself. And I recommend that you ask a friend to take a few pictures of you working or with your artwork. That is very, very helpful to represent yourself on your own website, or on Instagram or Facebook, for example, or on different websites where your art lives. Tip number 17 is to have a watermark, I call it watermark logo, or to put on each artwork, or to put on each photo of you working or photo of your art, so that people know when they find that image online over the years, they will know where to go to find you. And I recommend that you have your website on it, the name of your brand. It needs to be small and not very distracting, so just simple text usually will do. However, you can put a simple logo in there as well. Tip number 18 is to show how your art will look like when it's used. Maybe you create beautiful paintings, create mock-ups of your artwork on the wall in different types of environments and interiors. If you are selling digital files, you can create mock-ups with that as well. Create a mock-up on a cup, on a dress, on a kid's clothes, whatever you want to create, you want to sell it on. It's useful to create mock-ups for that, or maybe you can take pictures of that in your own home or in friend's home. Tip number 19 is to package your designs in sets if applicable. So if you have sets of things, you can try selling them separately at first, and then after a while, when you feel like the files are getting a little older, you can recolor them or just use them as is in a set if they go together logically. This creates a new life and a new interesting product for your shops. And tip number 20, I recommend that you go back and analyze which were the most popular files, the most sold files, the most liked files on the websites that you are selling on. And they might differ, by the way, from a website, which is very typical. And you will be able to see patterns, what to create next. You'll be able to create a plan, which is super, super helpful. I used that strategy many times over the years, and I were able to create new bestsellers this way. Phew, that was a very long list, and we got through it. I hope you found some tips that were helpful to you. I have a lot of deep dive tutorials in different subjects on this YouTube channel, so check out these videos for more information about these topics on pattern design and selling your designs online. Now comment below which of these tips have you been already using, maybe name one, and please name 3 of the ones you want to try. I am so excited to hear which are your favorites. And of course, please like this video if you found it useful. Share it with more of your creative friends so they can benefit from it too, as well as subscribe to my channel, because I am creating new videos on the topics of textile design, repeat pattern design, and running a successful online business on this channel. And as promised, here is my Pattern Biz workshop, a free 4-day series of video lessons for you, where you can get a deep dive into a lot of these tips plus many more in longer format videos, so that you can learn more and start your creative business today. You can sign up for free using the info card in this video, in the corner of this video, or by going into description and clicking the link under this video. I hope you enjoy it, I hope you like your gift, and I will see you guys in my next video. Grow, love, and create. Bye!